वसुदेव सुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शांति शांति शांति। Let's begin our journey. Third class today. We completed first three adhyayas last week. This week we'll continue with the next three. When you look at this title, discipline in action. So action is basically karma. But karma does not mean just doing anything that you wish. We need some discipline. That's what Sri Krishna says. So follow karma yoga, but with certain discipline. We want to fly fighter jet, but it cannot go haphazardly in any route. It has to follow certain discipline. Then only it can follow its path, the best efficient path, and reach to the target. So that's what the aim is. Now Sri Krishna says that in his time, even in his time, which is 5,000 years back, this knowledge was lost. That means it must have been millenniums before his time. So even before 5,000 years, we think about that this yoga was lost. So must have passed maybe more than 2,000 years, at least. That's what I guess, or maybe even more. And if we follow our Puranic traditions, or even if we follow Rigvedas, this time must be at least 12,000 years. And well, just last week I came across, this is a little off topic, I came across a very nice video. It's about archaeology and ancient archaeology. They were talking about a town near Jodhpur, Rajasthan. Just 10 miles from Jodhpur, they excavated a town completely intact, even skeletons intact, as if people were walking on the roads and something happened and they just dropped dead. Just like that, the whole town they found. Interestingly, they found very high radioactivity in those ashes and dust and all that, whatever the remains they found. Very high radioactivity. And only one explanation is somebody deliberately, just like nuclear weapons, somebody dropped something there which is nuclear active in that region, and they instantly got killed. Now if we look at our history, greatest history, Mahabharata and Ramayana, we consider them as our history, itihasa. It's not just mythology. In Ramayana, there is an incident when Sri Rama wanted to cross ocean and reach Lanka. He worshipped at Rameshwaram, and then he was waiting for Varuna Dev, Samudra Dev, to give path. 2 days nothing happened, so he became very angry. He took his bow and was about to burn or evaporate ocean, and Varuna Deva appeared. So Varuna Deva showed the path, asked Nal and Neel to build the setu here. But then Sri Rama said, okay, what about this arrow? Then Varuna Deva said, okay, there is a region in northwest from here. We are talking about Rameshwaram. This is all in Valmiki Ramayana. If you go and read that, northwest from here, there is a place, I forgot exact name, but Karkota or Kurkota region. People there, they no longer follow dharma. They have become adharmi. So send your arrow there and destroy everything there. But Rama said, I don't want to destroy everything. They can still, some of them can still survive, and they can still live on something, because this region will be barren after I leave this arrow, because this is especially to dry up ocean. So wherever I send this arrow, everything will be barren. Now Rajasthan, Tharpakar desert, Thar Ran, that area is not very old. There used to be very flourishing region all around that, Saraswati river and all. So it was all forest and everything. So it's a very recent phenomenon that this whole thing, that whole area converted into desert. And Rama sent this arrow in that region, and they found this archaeological evidence. So I see some connection there. So they say that this particular village is 8 to 10,000 years old, and that also matches with Sri Rama's time, if you look at archaeological evidences. So whatever knowledge Sri Krishna was talking about must be very, very old. And he said to Arjuna that this yoga is lost. But how this yoga was followed from this particular knowledge? It came from Ishvara, God. From God to Surya. Surya is sun, Aditya. From Surya to Manu of our time, his name is Vivaswat. The Chatur Yuga system, we talk about 14 Manus, and of our times, our Manvantara, Manu is Vivaswan or Vaivasvat Manvantara. So he is considered son of Surya. So from Surya, Vivaswan got this knowledge. From Vivaswan, his son Ikshvaku. Let me take it back. Vivaswan is son of sun, and his son is Manu, Vaivasvat Manu, because he is son of Vivaswan. Our Manu is son of Vivaswan, and that's why he is called Vaivasvat Manu. Just like Krishna is Vasudeva, because he is son of Vasudeva. Just like that, this Manu, our times Manu, is son of Vivaswan, and that's why he is called Vaivasvat Manu, and his son Ikshvaku. And Ikshvaku is the founder of Surya Vansha, because when we talk about Sri Rama, Raghukul or Ikshvaku Vansha, that's how we talk about it. So this is how that lineage is followed.
So Manu is the first man, or is it Vish?
Okay. Manu is first person of our times. So which time? We follow yugas, Chatur Yuga system. So when our Satya Yuga started, so the first, I wouldn't say Adam and Eve kind of thing, because they consider just one source. But for us, Manu was the first one who kept everything intact. That also includes humans, other animals, trees, and knowledge system. And that's why he is considered first human of our Yuga. It does not mean he was the only one. Manu and Shatrupa weren't the only ones. They also carried some humans with them and all. So he was the first one who made sure, like Elon Musk, he made sure that all the technology or knowledge can be preserved going forward. So that's how he is considered the first one. Again, very interesting archaeological evidences. In Nepal country, when they refer to Mount Everest, they don't call it Mount Everest. Traditionally, they call it Nauka Bandhan or Nau Bandhana Shikhar. Why Nau Bandhana or Nauka Bandhana Shikhar? So if we remember the story of Matsya Avatar and Manu, Matsya appeared, Bhagwan appeared as Matsya Avatar, and he told Manu that, okay, bring everything in Nauka boat and tie that to me, and I'll carry you forward, will protect you. Noah's Ark also, something similar. So that whole boat Manu, other humans, animals, trees, and all the knowledge system, even Saptarshis. So that Nauka was carried by Matsya, and it was tied across the, everything was ocean, right? Water was everywhere. It was that time. We are talking about end of Ice Age, 12,000, 14,000 years ago. Everything, everywhere was water. So wherever they could park that boat, the highest peak, what would that be? Mount Everest. So if we look at Mount Everest very closely, and this is research by some Nepali scientists, they followed this tradition. Why Mount Everest is called Naubandhana Shikhar or Naukabandhana Shikhar? Because they found evidence of something tied near the peak. A big thick rope, multiple times, if it is tied to that area. So they found this evidence, and they 100% consider this as being a true itihasa, true story, Manu and Shatrupa and whatever happened. So this knowledge system was in effect followed this lineage, and it was revived by Sri Krishna. If we put it what he said here, when Arjuna asked him that there have been many generations past, Sri Krishna is talking about Ikshvaku. So Ikshvaku was at least 10 to 12,000 years back. We are talking about that time frame, and Sri Krishna and Pandava's time was 5,000 years back. So Arjuna asked, how do you know all this? So Sri Krishna says, I have gone through multiple births, you have gone through multiple births. You don't remember anything, but I know everything. I know past, present, and future. That's why I know everything. And this is the lineage, and I want to give you this knowledge so that this knowledge can carry forward, which was lost. And even today, a Sanatani or Hindu, even if somebody doesn't read Vedas, somebody doesn't read Upanishads, Puranas, at least they might have heard, they might have read about Bhagavad Gita. At least that's what I consider, that is a sign that this knowledge is not lost and it will carry forward. So then Sri Krishna says, God manifests through divine power, Yoga Maya, to liberate, to destroy, to establish. Why he says this? Because Paramatma or Parabrahma, the concept of yoga and Upanishads, if Parabrahma is Nishkriya or Akriya, if it does not have any sankalpa, how can God incarnate? And then Sri Krishna explains, because of Yoga Maya. So that sankalpa itself is Yoga Maya, Adi Shakti, and that Adi Shakti creates something that starts all this. So all this cycle of creation, establishment, destruction, liberation, all these various aspects or states, that is all due to Yoga Maya. Now, the third bullet point, know divine nature of God's births or actions to attain divine abode. Basically, if we follow our old traditions, not very old, our grandfathers or grandmothers' times, there used to be Bhagavad Saptaha happening across all the villages. Any Purana or any, usually Bhagavata Saptaha, that's what I heard, or Ramayana Saptaha, or nobody used to read Mahabharata, but at least Ramayana and Bhagavat. Those two traditionally, some Brahmana, some Karmakandi Brahmana would come and they would do it for 7 days or maybe 10 days, and everybody would participate, they would listen, they would have bhajans and devotional songs, and they would even have a joint meal I mean, they used to eat together and follow all this. So this tradition is because if we know the divine nature of God, that is also a surety to meet him or her. I mean, God, we cannot say him or her, but at least in this context, Sri Krishna. So Sri Krishna says, if you know my divine nature of all these births, you will get liberation and you will meet me. And though somebody does not walk the path of Sanatana or Purana or Vedas or Upanishads or even this yogic marg of Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna teaching, knowingly or unknowingly, even other religions, be it Christians, be it Muslims, be it Zoroastrians, Jews, whatever different paths, they all lead to him, knowingly or unknowingly. When say if we look at Muslims, they are very aggressive, they are very much against the normal human norms, but what they follow? In the name of Allah. That's just the label for them, but ultimately Allah is God. They do it in the name of God, they kill in the name of God. Even though they do not know what should be the right path, they still follow the path of God, even though wrong for many people. It does not mean it is not the path of God. They can still justify. I wouldn't say we need to justify that, but well, knowingly or unknowingly, they also follow the path of God. So everybody follows path of God. And there was a person who was born just 150 years ago, and he showed that yes, all the paths lead to the same God, Ramakrishna Paramahans. He practiced Islam for maybe 3 months or so, and he said, yes, this is right. He followed Christianity for a certain period. He said, this is right. He was Kali's devotee, but he started praying Hanuman. He did sadhana of Hanuman, and he said, no, this is right. That also leads to God. So this way he followed many different paths and said everything leads to the same God, just 150 years back. And even Sri Krishna says the same. So we shouldn't be worried much if our children don't do everything or anything that we do. At least if they come here at the mandir, they pray, they sit. Even if they don't pray, they just sit here, or even at home, they just sit next to us. That is good enough. That is kind of a seed that will grow into a big tree eventually. And Sri Krishna has blessed that. Now this is very controversial. In contemporary period, it's again more of a politics. Many people attribute the class system in India, in Bharata, to Bhagavad Gita and Sri Krishna. That this is, they use this term Manuvadi because they refer to Manusmriti. Nobody has, maybe not even 1% people have read Manusmriti. They still attribute everything to Manusmriti. Just like that, they attribute everything to Bhagavad Gita, even if it is true or not. Similarly, caste system is also attributed to, okay, this is Manuvadi, even Bhagavad Gita says that. But they don't know what exactly Sri Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita. He said, Chaturvarnam Maya Srushtam. He doesn't say Jati, he says Varna. Chaturvarnam Maya Srushtam. I created 4 Varnas. Now, Varna does not mean class or Jati. Then he says, which people forget, deliberately or unknowingly. Chaturvarna Maya Srushtam Guna Karma Vibhagena. Depending upon one's nature, one's attributes, one's characters, and one's action, I created these 4 divisions. So, well, what are these 4 divisions? Brahmana. Now, who is Brahmana? Who wears that janev or dhoti and do tilak and do karma kanda and all those things? Are those Brahmanas? If they do it, yes, in a sense, yes. But whoever is on the path of knowledge, who seeks knowledge, who shares knowledge, they all are Brahmanas. Even if we go to any university, all the professors, they are like rishis. They do intensive research in various subjects. They are also seekers and they share their knowledge. So, according to Bhagavad Gita, they are Brahmana. Somebody might be born as, see, that is again our social fabric. If my name is Patel, my last name is Patel, I am Shudra because I am born in a farmer's family. That is how it is considered in medieval period.
Vaishya.
No, Patel is, farmers are Shudras. Who owns the farm? But Patels did not own the farms. Eventually, yes, but they used to work in farms, and that's why even till 1960s, labor class. So Patels were considered Shudra till 1930s in Gujarat. And Brahmana wouldn't sit next to us.
Where do we get the land from? Who was the owner?
That is after Sardar Patel became very strong, and after 1960 when Gujarat state was formed, then Patel started owning the farms. Till then, we were just considered laborers. And a Brahman, a person born as a Brahman, wouldn't sit next to us, just in 1930. But well, now
Patels rule the world.
well,
That's why enterprise
things change.
big time.
Big time, right. Well, and that's why I always say, whenever people talk about caste and all that, this Dalit movement, all, then I say go to Gujarat and talk to Patels. Just in 30-year time frame, they rose from very down, very below, to this stature, just in 30 years, by sheer hard work, without asking for any reservation. So, Brahmana, who is the seeker of knowledge and who shares the knowledge. Kshatriya, of course, protectors, warriors. So, whoever has that nature. In contemporary period, all the army soldiers, they are the Kshatriyas. Vaishya, trade, finance, farm in contemporary terms. Because farming is no longer just labor, it's about selling something or acquiring something. So it's a Vaishya nature. And majority of us, we work for some company or we work for some big group or do something. So we are all Vaishyas, whatever label we have, because we are part of that finance fabric. Then Shudra, service or labor class. Even today there are many who just do labor job. So they are all Shudras. Now here's the thing. Till Gupta Vansh, so Vikramaditya, Chandragupta to I think 4th or 5th century. Till then, this is how it used to work. Brahmana used to have last name Sharma, Kshatriya Varma, Vaishya Gupta, and Shudra Das. So let's say somebody after completing Gurukulam, if somebody would work as a Brahmana, meaning teaching and all that, then he or she would acquire Sharma as the last name. Maybe after 10 years, if he or she becomes Gruhastha, starts doing something else, become warrior, There are many examples that Brahmana became a warrior. So they would drop their last name Sharma and they would get Varma. So this is how it used to work till 4th or 5th century. So Sharma, Varma, Gupta and Das. This is how the social fabric was. But it all, I think, dropped and dusted.
I had those last name only in the northern side.
Yeah, I mean, we stopped doing that after Islamic invasion, and Britishers even divided us very greatly, and we still keep following all that. Now, this all knowledge system created confusion in Arjuna's mind. So he asked, what is best? You are telling me leave everything. You are telling me do your actions dutifully. So what is best? What should I do? Then Sri Krishna says, okay, best of everything is yajna with jnana. Yagna or yajna, that is any action done with dharma or with following nature. Nature meaning what is our true attribute. If somebody is more interested in seeking knowledge and somebody says, stop doing that, you are about to join army. This is what happened in Vietnam War in USA. Okay, stop doing whatever you are doing, go to Vietnam and fight. So they were forced to stop being Brahmana and they were enforced to becoming Kshatriya. So Sri Krishna says that is not yajna. If you follow your varna, your guna and karma and stick to that, if it changes, then change your occupation or your activities. That becomes yajna. It's one of the yajnas.
So whatever you're naturally inclined?
Not, yes, whatever you are naturally inclined. Let's say our children, somebody might be interested in art. We say no, doctor or engineer. So that's the problem. So Krishna.
Action with what was it? What was the sentence?
So your action has to follow your dharma, and dharma is what comes to you naturally. Then it becomes yajna. And if you offer this yajna to Sri Krishna, you do everything for Sri Krishna, then it becomes yajna with jnana, yajna with knowledge, knowledge of God. If you do that, that is the best of all. So basically he is motivating Arjuna, fight your war, but remember that you are fighting on behalf of me, you are doing my work. Then that becomes the best of all. And he also prescribes this. So after war, what one should do? We fight our battle every day. But he says, surrender and serve Siddha. Now who is Siddha? Siddha is somebody who walked the path of spirituality or divine path and found something. He experienced something. So these are called Siddhas. Siddha normally means acquired some magical power, but that is not Siddha. Siddha is something who observed or found that Parabrahma. So if you find such person, surrender and serve that person. That is also surety to get liberated, because that person will put you on right path. And from this, all the Guru Parampara started, which in today's world we see, I think it lost its true meaning. People worship any Guru who shows some magical powers or do jugglery or whatever. And all are part and within God. That is important to know. This statement comes from Yoga Vasishtha. Yoga Vasishtha is between Guru Vasishtha and Sri Rama, because Sri Rama, when he completed his studies, this is when Guru Vasishtha gave him this knowledge. So it's like a question answers. It's a very profound book, and that book talks about multiverses. In today's term, what we call multiverses, multiple universes. This is what they talk about. Guru Vasishtha said something like, "We live in somebody's dream." This is his statement in Yoga Vasishtha. We live in somebody's dream, and that somebody is Parabrahma. So everything around us seems real. We are real, you are real, everything is real. But that reality is a dream for Parabrahma. There is a sankalpa started in Parabrahma through Yoga Maya. Yoga Maya created that sankalpa, and that sankalpa created a dream, and that dream is our universe, our world, and we all are part of that dream. But well, somebody slaps me, it really feels real. It's not a dream anymore.
Or if you get a toothache.
Toothache, yes, exactly. That reminds that, yeah, this is not dream. But yeah, reality is we all are part of God. We all are part of or within God. Now, very fascinating thing, James Webb Telescope. It took pictures of universe even beyond our universe. So many scientists now claim that we are part of some giant black hole, and that's why we do not see anything outside. And then that started mapping all the known universe. So it created a structure, and that structure looked like, if we look at our body, our veins, small capillaries, our nervous system, so it resembles that. And in Puranas, it is completely said that Virat Purush has, in every spore of Virat Purush, there is one universe, and we live in that. And our universe is part of the right thumb of that Purusha. I mean, foot, right foot, that thumb of right foot. We live in that universe, is what is said. Maybe because of that. Don't know, but yeah, could be related to that. But when they created this map of known universe, they put all the galaxies together. That created that shape. Even on internet, if you search Laniakea structure, which we are all part of, that super cluster of galaxies. So we are part of that, and it resembles somebody's body part. So we all are part of God, we are all within God. Yesterday was International Yoga Day, but without doing optics, we don't do anything much. I mean, yoga, everybody follows that, but what is yoga? Unless and until we understand what is said in Bhagavad Gita, we will not be following yoga in true nature. We'll be just doing physical postures, nothing else. That is important, it is a good start, but what is yoga? Sri Krishna has clear definitions in multiple places in Bhagavad Gita. So he says that practice yoga. And what is the goal of practicing yoga? Which purifies mind and controls senses. So this goes back to Ashtanga Yoga. Why we should practice yoga? To purify mind and control our senses. And what happens next is explained in chapter 6. We'll go over that. All actions as yajna to be free from binding effects. So we do yajna, homam, havanam, whatever we do it ritualistically. Just create a havana kund, pour ghee, put samidha, offer ahutis with some mantras. But what is the meaning of that? We think that we get some blessings, we get some grace of Bhagwan, Prabhu, whatever we do. But what is the ultimate goal? Because ultimate goal is, it must make us free from all the binding effects of karma. we must be free from karma, meaning whatever binds us to karma, to the cycle of birth and death, we must be free from that. And any yajna, if done rightly, will have this effect, will make us free from that. And the simplest thing to do is offer everything to God. Offer everything to God you like. Maybe somebody likes Sri Krishna, somebody likes Shiva, Adya Shakti, whatever form you like. Just offer everything you do. So that is the yajna, to be free from binding effects. And all these yajnas, where they come from? Ultimately the source is Vedas. Rigveda has throughout 10,000 mantras. It's all about doing certain rituals, not just in physical form. I can show parallels in all these suktas between Kundalini Jagrati, that kind of yajna, and Soma yajna, the physical nature, or whatever is happening in the world. That is also one of the yajnas. So these are all different yajnas. So they all come from Vedas. That is the source of all this knowledge. And consider everything Brahma. When there is a Havana or Yajna, there is fire. That fire is Brahma. Offering, whatever we offer, that food or wood or ghee, that is also Brahma. All the objects that are part of the Yajna, that is also Brahma. And the ceremony we perform, mantras or suktas or stotra or prarthana or achman and whatever we do, that is all Brahma. So everything is Brahma, and that is the ultimate yajna. So these are all disciplines in action, in our karmas. These are various different forms of yajnas. First is worldly objects to various forms of God. So this is how we know Havana or yajna that we do usually, even at mandir or at many places. Worldly objects meaning food or sweets or fruits or wood, chips or ghee or whatever, worldly objects. Second is offer our Atma to Brahma. That is also one of the yajnas. Our Atma is part of Brahma, but offer, meaning surrender, give it to Brahma. All the senses to self-restraint. This is again yam and niyam of Ashtanga Yoga. Our senses are outward. Try to go inward. Bring all your senses inward for certain period. That becomes yajna. All the actions or subjects of senses to senses within. So let's say I watch something, but if I do it for the sake of Sri Krishna, that becomes yajna. Now you would contradict that statement, that if I watch something bizarre or strange, can I offer that to Sri Krishna? Of course, everything is part of God. Whatever we see. Gandhi Bapu said, don't look at bad things, but well, it's not possible all the times. We watch everything, but we don't watch, meaning we offer everything to God. Let's say we come across something bad that we think of, offer that to God. That means it's not watching it or not seeing it. So that is also one of the yajnas. Then actions of senses or prana to restrain mind. This is pranayama. We also do many different techniques of pranayama, breathing techniques. Study Vedas. That is also one of the yajnas. Even if we don't understand what is said in Sanskrit, just studying that, it also becomes yajna. So we should make a habit every day that read at least one shloka of Veda, no matter what happens. And nowadays online everything is available, Sanskrit and its translation. So read just one shloka every day from Samaveda or Yajurveda or Rigveda, Atharvaveda. I would not recommend going to Atharvaveda. It's because without understanding all three, we cannot understand Atharva Veda, because it talks about magic. So, what is that magic? So study Vedas, it is one of the yajnas. Severe vows, like Bhishma Pratignya. He said that I will not marry and I will not claim throne of Hastinapura. So that also become a yajna for his life. So strong vows like that. But that has circumstances and creates circumstances, and they result into ultimately Mahabharata. So be ready. Because if we look at Mahabharata, it all started with Bhishma Pratignya. If he did not do that, Mahabharata wouldn't have happened. So, and offer in breath into exhale, and again offer out breath into inhale. This is a very simple yogic technique. I think Nitin Bhai would know more about that. This technique is very much popularized by Buddha in his times. Just follow your breath and you will see wonders. So this is also one of the yajnas prescribed in Bhagavad Gita. Control prana. Now this is again pranayama. In today's world, it is not recommended to hold the breath, because we live in very polluted environment. Even though we breathe filtered air, it is not natural air. So it is not recommended to follow this. Light food. See, Sri Krishna doesn't say do upavasa, don't do fasting. He says don't commit gluttony, don't overeat, don't undereat, don't be hungry, just consume light food. Then anusthana of any yajna. Now anusthana is very interesting thing. Usually people on the path of tantra follow that, or meaning who has gotten mantra diksha, they follow anusthana. So for certain period like Navratri, for 9 days, they take vow that during these 9 days I completely recite Durga Saptashati, or I do those many times mantras chanting. So these are all different anusthana. So that is also one of the yajnas. And donate. These are all yajnas. All of one's wealth. Whatever my accountant says you are worth this, if you donate all of that, that is yajna. In today's world, many people do that, especially Jain. They, when they become sadhu, they just give up everything, they donate everything, whatever they belonged before. Severe penance. Well, even sadhus today live in AC rooms, they take luxury cars, they cannot do severe penance. And there are still sadhus like that in Girnar or Himalaya or in southern part. They don't come in public, they are just doing their severe penance in solitary. They don't meet us. Then Ashtanga Yoga, we all know that is also very good to follow. Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana and Samadhi.
So what's the difference between yama and niyam?
Yama is restraint, control. So our vritti is outward, bring it inward somehow. So that is yama. And niyama, once they become inward, keep following that over and over. That becomes niyama. So if you look at what is considered yama, ahimsa, don't hurt anyone just by the sake of doing it. Satya, whatever you know, describe or say as is. You might be wrong, but if you think you saw this, if you try to hide it, that becomes asatya. You may be wrong, that is acceptable, but your satya is whatever you have observed. Asteya, don't consume more than you need. Very hard to do. Our closets are full of clothes, right? Brahmacharya. Brahmacharya, this is very controversial in today's term, but simple definition is from sunrise to sunset, follow the path of Brahma, devotion. After sunset to next sunrise, do whatever you like. But till then, those period, that is Brahmacharya. Aparigraha. Do not take somebody else's. What does not belong to you. Now, what does not belong to you can have different meanings. Right now, does this TV belong to me? I can claim it, yes. I am projecting here, so I can claim. But whoever owns this property can come, or maybe coordinator comes and says, I want to take this TV. Okay, take it. Kshama. Very hard to do. If you think somebody has done bad to you and still you forgive, pratikramana, it's one way to do that. So Kshama, Jain, when they say Pancha Namaskara, that is very beautiful way of doing Kshama. They forgive everyone. Michhami Dukadam. So that is very good way of doing it. Dhruti, very hard to do. We move around from one screen to another screen. Keep doing. Our mind also keep wavering. So we do not have dhruti. We do not have steadfast mind. Once we start working on something, unless there is an emergency, other things must not distract us. That is one way of doing dhruti. Daya, compassion. You feel sympathetic about others. Arjava. Arjava is the whole Kathopanishad is Arjava. Become like Nachiketa. Simple, straight, like a child. That is Arjava. Mitahara. Again, don't be hungry, but don't overeat. That is Mitahara. Shaucha. Body and mind, keep it clean as much as possible. We keep our body clean, but mind little hard, but possible. Now Niyama. So after doing Yama, what you get is Ru. You feel satiated, complete. That is Ru. Or Santosha. You feel nothing is left behind, kind of that. Dana. Well, if you follow aparigraha and asteya, naturally you become to give some your belongings to somebody else, following dana. Astikya. So astikya is whatever I am doing ultimately leads to God. I have that belief. That is astikya. In all terms, whoever followed Vedas, they were called astika, and whoever did not believe in Vedas, they were called nastika. So somebody following Purana, saying no to Vedas, could be nastik in old times, not in today's time. Ishvara Pujana, we all do that, right? We all do offer fruit and various things to God. We pray, sing bhajan and all that. Shastra Shravana. Now Pathana is read by yourself, and Shravana meaning listen to somebody else, doing Shastra, saying Shastra. Mati, your buddhi, intellect, offer to God. Vrata. Vrata is, let's say, every Sunday I'll come to this mandir and do this. That is Vrata. So following some discipline. Japa. If you get mantra from Guru, that parampara, then keep chanting, or simply say Om Namah Shivaya or Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, or follow any mantra that you like. That is japa. Japa could be mental, mansik, or you can utter with words, sound. Tapa. Tapa again, you follow certain practices that every day 2 hours I'll sit here and do this much sadhana. If you strictly follow that like a soldier, then it becomes tapa. You tapa meaning you burn your body, you burn your mind. That is tapa. Now other things we can quickly finish. Asana. If you can sit in a particular posture for 30 minutes at least, that is asana, whatever that posture may be. You can sleep also for 30 minutes, but without moving any body part. That is the condition. Pranayama, control of breath going in and out, and there are various methods. Pratyahara, all your senses bring inward, that is pratyahara. Dharana, focus all your senses to certain form of God. So you create image of God, that is dharana, your imagination. Dhyana, when that imagination you can do or you can create that image for at least 30 seconds. At least 30 seconds. Remember, that is dhyana. You will say 30 seconds, oh, it's nothing, but start doing it. Samadhi. If that 30 second becomes 30 minutes, it is samadhi. Because if those 30 seconds, if you can stretch it, the experience you get is being one with God. That is samadhi. So, the bell rang. So we'll stop here. So these are all disciplines, various disciplines in action. We complete with this mantra. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shantihi Shantihi Shantihi. Om Tat Sat.